I am a writer first and foremost. I've always been a writer. I've always loved street art. I've always been inspired by it. Every word that I've ever painted or pasted on a wall resonates with something going on in my life. For me, when I started, it was all about the words, but now I've learned to be a better artist, and I think the words have met the art. So this is my studio, and it's close to home, which I love. I can walk here. It's a relatively small space. I mean, but I do a lot here. I've churned out a lot of art, both that I've put in the streets and gallery pieces, and it's a good workspace, but it's obviously littered and cluttered with tons of stencils, and there's stencils all up there, you know, in storage. I like to hold on to my stencils. Obviously some of them, a lot of them I can use multiple times in the streets. I came up with the image of the typewriter. I blended all these nostalgic typewriters and took pieces of them to come up with that typewriter, and it hasn't changed much over time. It's the most incredible compliment. People call it iconic. Now I look back at it 6 years later and I'm like, holy smokes, this is a very cool idea I came up with.
It could look very simple, but even from like a street artist perspective, it's actually one of those artists that mixes several techniques, like the pasting and the spraying, for example.
I used to cut the typewriter all the time, and a couple years ago started laser cutting them, and larger typewriters I still cut on my own, but it's really nice to have those. I can't say that I miss cutting, you know, typewriters, especially of like even this size. I did my fair share in the day, but it's really nice to have them laser cut now. And then this was even, like this I usually would cut on my own, but this was for a special project, so I had this laser cut. But the moment I realized that that typewriter could be painted and the page could be pasted, that combined both of those methods, and that really intrigued me. It intrigued me so much I had to Google if anybody had done it before, just the image of a typewriter and a page. And when I saw that nobody had, I kind of forgot all about that fear or that thought that just superheroes did it, because I got so excited about the idea that I just wanted to make it a reality. I think the first times that people started sending me messages were because of the romantic pieces. People get engaged in front of my pieces. People have commissioned pieces for their weddings, and I absolutely adore that.
It was funny because that day there was like, well, I mean, it's a pretty beautiful mural, and I think a lot of people like to grab pictures in front of it. So there was like 10 to 15 people kind of standing around the mural, and we're all, and you know, I'm just standing there like, and I made a comment to him. I was like, oh, I love this mural. I love this mural. This is like my favorite mural. And he was like, yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I think I remember this one.
Yeah, I'm totally playing it off like casual. So I get in front of the wall, and all of a sudden I start to notice he's kind of getting like a little bit nervous, and I'm like, what is your problem? We've just been shooting for like an hour and a half. And he starts to get down on one knee, and I'm like, oh my God, it's happening. He now has a very special place in my heart. You know?
I feel like it's very much a part of, you know, just some
Our
very
story.
big decisions between both of us.
Yeah.
You know, both together and I think personally. as well.
Absolutely.
I think street art, you know, makes you pay attention. It's kind of nice that something can, when you're walking around, can catch your attention and captivate you. You know what I mean? Make you think, laugh, cry, smile. Having said that, people take pictures of my work and then share it on social media, and that just continues the ripple effect. It starts, you know, on the streets. It starts on those walls, and I love that. Because I know people want to search, you know what I mean, and find. So I always try to, you know, let people know where the pieces are. I mean, at first that was weird, you know, because you're worried that someone's going to go and destroy them. But I don't know. I've been lucky with people liking my work. And the first piece I ever did was, it said, "There's nothing sadder than a pawn shop in Hollywood," which sounds kind of morose, but it's not. It's actually just a creative way of saying, don't give up on your dream.
I reached out to him for this hotel project, And then, of course, at that point, I had his contact information. So 3 years later, I said, the hotel never happened, but how do you feel about doing a house? And he said, sure, I'll do it. And that was it. Specifically, I was very much into this particular sentence because I really felt that that's how pretty much everybody that moves to LA feels for a very long time or until the day they leave the city. I would say 99.9 of everyone in the neighborhood or people just passing by really loved it.
You're always taking a risk. I've done pieces that have lasted 5 minutes, and I've done pieces, no lie, 5 minutes, and pieces that have lasted still 5 years, you know what I mean? So you just never know how long. However, it is romantic, you know what I mean, that it could be gone tomorrow, and there is this fleeting notion, and there's also the beauty of a piece evolving, you know what I mean? If it does last a while, the elements are going to get to it, maybe other artists are going to join you or whatnot, and it can become a beautiful collage.
And so I don't know. I mean, sometimes words find, a place, and sometimes the wall screams for the words.
I love the fact that I am a street artist, you know what I mean? And I always will. I mean, I'll always do pieces in the streets. I love giving art to the people. People are really appreciating. Aspire to inspire others, and the universe will take note. I love that it was written by me and that it's synonymous with wordsmith. I think that there's something very powerful in those words.
Wordsmith was very altruistic when it started, and it continues to be. I just wanted to inspire people. I wanted to put a positive, spin on the world and positive messages out there. You send me anywhere, I'm still going to do what I do, and that's why it'll always be 50-50. I'm given a lot of opportunity, but I'll still give art to the people and do work on the streets.
I think communicating this very short, sort of an essential, very concise concepts in such an effective way on an urban platform, honestly, it's genius.
Every piece is me having a word with somebody at some point in time, and they might stumble upon it when they turn a corner, or they might see it on Instagram, or they might be sent it by somebody, and that's that ripple effect that's going on. But I'd like to have a word with you.
I'll tell you actually a quick story. So I go to a hairdresser who is a transplant from New York, and he moved to from New York about 1.5 years ago, and he lives in the neighborhood, and he actually used to run in the neighborhood. When he first moved here, he didn't have a job at the time. And then, eventually, we crossed paths, we met, and I started becoming one of his clients. And one day he actually came to my house because we became friends, and he said, I cannot believe that you live in this house. I used to run in the neighborhood, and when I first moved here, that was the house that inspired me to stay in LA.
I didn't say I love you to Max first. I knew it for a long time, and I would tell him I like you a lot. But yeah, these two are very meaningful to me, and all the other ones we see around, I think they just speak a lot to people, and just a good reminder for us to be better people and just do better in life in general. So Wordsmith, we appreciate you.